you sit back and you're having a couple of drinks, and I'm sure that everybody's had that moment where they've come up with a great idea, and then the next day everybody wakes up, goes back to the job, and never really acts on it. So finding people that can give you the confidence to actually go for it, I think is massive. I mean,
I just realized you've done something that a whole lot of people fantasize about doing and have never actually done. So you don't have to give away the numbers, for instance, but if you're comfortable, if there's a safe amount about how much you raised, number one, if there's an amount you're comfortable with, if not, I understand. And number two, because you did something that so many people fantasize about doing, is there a tip or a lesson or a realization in that process that you learned from this experience of raising the money and creating the company?
yeah. So for our initial raise, it was in the neighborhood of $1 million,
Okay.
give or take. And for tips and tricks, I'll say this to anybody because it's the truth. It's finding great partners and mentors. Um, everybody has can have a good anybody can have a good idea. You sit back and you're having a couple of drinks, and I'm sure that everybody's had that moment where they've come up with a great idea, and then the next day everybody wakes up, goes back to the job, and never really acts on it. So finding people that can give you the confidence to actually go for it, I think is massive. I mean, Scott's in a league of his own in that unwavering confidence in his vision. And it's something that he's really kind of helped me learn myself. And then, I've always wanted to start a business, but I didn't know where to start. And so learning this process through Scott has been immensely helpful. And for me personally, maybe Hand Barrel isn't the last chapter or the last business that I have in the bag. But now I have the confidence, I have some of the know-how to launch something that if you're not taught, it can take a lot of time and trial and error, um, to actually come to fruition. And people have a hard time with failure. Uh, Everybody does. And so the way you can kind of hedge that bet, I guess, is finding really good people who know what they're doing to help you out.
You mentioned raising the money wasn't as hard as it you thought it would be or could have been. Was it just a step one, step two, step three, step four, or was it more of an adventure than that?
So we're going through a raise right now. Now this
Okay.
is what I expected. This has been a bit of a grind, chasing people around, making calls, making connections. Anybody that you've talked to in the last, you know, 3, 4 years that has, some money in the bank that you know of, reaching out to them. Who do you know? Some of those types of things. So that's more of what I was expecting now is what we're going through. And I'm glad we're doing it now that I have much more time and attention to give the business. But for the original raise, Scott had, through his past and success as an entrepreneur, had a Rolodex of investors.
Mhm.
And I think the fact that we had this really cool bottle and this very thought out vision for a business, gave people confidence to invest in our business at an infant stage. We didn't have whiskey. We didn't even, we had no paperwork. We had nothing. We just had a cool bottle and a convincing story.
You already know I'm a fan. Um, so people are watching, they're listening. Where can we find more? Where can we find you on social media? Where can we find you online? And more importantly, is where can we buy you?
Yeah. So uh, on Instagram, it's It's just Hand Barrel Bourbon, and online www.handbarrel.com. We ship to 37, 38 states, so you can order online.